edition of the 5-Minute Powers Play. Coach Greg Powers is with me at Arizona State. By the calendar, Coach, it's September. There's still a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks or so until the first game, but you guys already played some games. So, first of all, let's recap the summer. How was it?
It was awesome. It was just the trip was, I think, exceeded everybody's expectations. Literally in every single way you could judge it by. Just the team building, the bonding, the hockey, the people over in China, the experiences that our guys and our staff were able to get. It was amazing.
Okay, so you come back from China. You come back with a championship, and I know I don't know if it matters to you or doesn't matter to you, but anytime you play a game, you want to win, right?
Yeah, it mattered. It mattered. We wanted to win that thing. We didn't know what we were getting into.
Right.
You know, I mean, in some really good teams and some maybe not so good teams. So it was a bag of mixed bag of competition. But at the end of the day, they were pros, and there were things about the way that they played that were great for our guys to go through. Just how hard they are in pucks and strong they are in pucks, and really tough to get through neutral zones against just guys that have been around the block and played a long time. So it was a tremendous experience from a hockey standpoint. And once we kind of realized, hey, I think we can win this thing, the guys got better every day and competed harder every day, and then it culminated with the by far the best effort of the week in the championship game.
So a couple of things that jumped out on me was the depth of your defensive core. They looked solid right from the get-go. And the other thing that really jumped out at me was Johnny Walker. I kind of joked with Craig Morgan over at the Coyotes the other day. I said, maybe this is the year that Clayton Keller gets some help instead of Clayton helping everybody out. And I'm looking the same way with Johnny Walker. Is this the year that Johnny Walker gets a little help?
Well, I mean, Johnny's Johnny. Like Johnny's going to want to score more than he did last year, and he's going to. He's absolutely going to get more than 23. I'd bet anything because he just looks that good. So we don't think any of us look at it like he needs more help, because he's just going to keep. But we have way more offensive prowess than we've ever had, and more depth. We really have more of a top 9 than a top 6. I mean, he was so good over there, but it's all a tribute to his work ethic off the ice. He put in more work in this offseason than he ever has before. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster. His detail is really good. He averaged 19 minutes of ice last year, and I told him, if you want more than that, then your detail's got to get better defensively, and you got to get bigger and stronger. And he did everything I asked, and so he's going to get more ice. So with more ice, it's going to come more goals.
Over the summertime, I had a chance to visit with your strength and conditioning coach, Leanne Blinn, and she told me that, I asked her, I guess, is how are you getting these guys ready? And she said, well, they really get themselves ready, but she said she's never seen a group of guys that are eager to come and do off-ice workouts. And she told me some stories about guys that maybe couldn't bench their weight initially, and now they're into it. So what's the key to that? Is it Leanne? Is it the guys? Is it a combination? Where does that fall?
First and foremost, it's a credit to her. She's as good as it gets at what she does. She has the ability, and it's a very unique ability that not many people have, where she can look at you with a smile and not offend you, and call you a bad name, right? Like, you know what I'm going with that. Like, so she can motivate these guys very well. She knows what she's doing. She's unbelievable at what she does in every way. They respect her. They like her. They want to work hard for her. They don't want to let her down, because they believe in what she has planned out for them. And then the other piece of it is just our player leadership. We have an unbelievable group of captains, and they hold those guys accountable. We don't get involved in anything she does. We stay very tight-knit and close in communication, and well synced with what we do here versus what they do in the gym. And Leanne's here all the time. She goes on our road trips. But we stay out of her way because we trust her, and she's better at doing that than we are.
All right. I want to talk about maturity on this team for a little bit, because you got a couple of guys that got married over the summer, and Gavito and Brinson. And I don't know as a coach if that's good or bad for you, or if it really matters to you, but it shows a little bit of maturity, I think, from the outside looking in. What's the locker room like?
Yeah, it matters, because I think it's a great thing that those two guys felt the need to that they're in the right points of their lives and their relationships in order to do that. So we're happy for him. Obviously, Vito's wedding was all the way in Latvia, so I think the only two that went were Phil and Max Balanson. But Brenton's wedding was another great team-building experience. It was after China. Everybody went up. He even invited all the new guys up and all the coaches, and it was just an awesome experience to get out in kind of a social setting that was unique for everybody. That was a non-ASU event, so to speak, and able to kind of let your hair down and have some fun, and it was awesome. It was an incredible experience. We're happy for those guys. It hasn't changed the dynamic a bit. They were essentially already married. Now it's just a formality.
All right, so two things we need to touch on. We need to talk about goaltenders because your goaltending crew, everybody said, what's he going to have for goaltenders? He lost Joey DeCord. And I told people that I knew, trust me, Coach Powers doesn't go into anything blindly. You got three guys that you look at as very good, very solid goaltenders, don't you?
They're all really good. They're all really different, but they're all really good. We knew what we had in Evan. We knew what we had. He and Joey would be the first to tell you. He outplayed Joey in probably half the practices last year. Like literally, Joey was just so good, and he paid his dues. There was no point in last season where we felt the need to sit him to motivate him or sit him to rest him or whatever. It just never made sense. We kept winning and kept having success, and we knew that once we swept Michigan State, that we could be a tournament team, really a tournament team, and so we rode the wave, and it worked out. And Evan was an incredible teammate. I mean, his guys have so much faith in him. I mean, they voted him best practice player last year because that's how good he was. So he's ready. He got to learn a ton from Joey last year. Max Prozik was unbelievable over in China. Came in and was just awesome. He got better every game. And Justin Robbins is a scrappy, athletic. He moves better than any goalie we have. He skates incredibly well. And he's really competitive. He took Chicago and the USHL to the finals last year. So we have three guys we know we can win with.
I kind of joked about it with John Lofner, and I'll ask you this too. Have you ever had three goaltenders that were three completely different styles and sizes? I mean, you line those three up. I mean, you got tall, medium, and smaller.
Yeah, I mean, Evan and Max are big boys. And Max looks a little bit bigger, but and then Robbins is a small, athletic, explosive guy. So yeah, they all bring something different to the table. And if there's a point in time in the season where we think we need to kind of provide a different look to an opponent based on how a previous game went, we certainly have that flexibility.
Let's wrap up this edition of the 5-Minute Powers Play with your newest assistant, Eddie Lack, came on board. Does the different styles and sizes of goaltenders make his job any harder?
No, I don't think so. It's one thing I love about Eddie is he doesn't try and change per se what got those guys here. He just takes what they have and develops it. So he's not trying to make them something that they're not at all. And they love him. They obviously have to respect what he has to say because he's been there. He's been to the ultimate level and where they all want to get to.
All right, 2.5 weeks till we drop the puck for real. I know you guys are chomping at the bit. It's always great to start the season. Mercier's coming in. We'll touch on that in the next couple of weeks. But for right now, let's tell everybody out there that you're going to be jumping in on our podcast. We're going to insert this on our podcast as well. So College Hockey Southwest Weekly will now get another dose of Greg Powers in the 5-Minute Powers Play.
I'm not sure how many people are going to be happy about that, but that's awesome. Good to hear.
Trust me, a lot will.